Is this the start of a new trilogy, or is Bay led the Autobots to their extinction? This is our review of Transformers: Age of Extinction. Hi everyone, welcome to Good Bad Deli. I'm Chris King, and today we're reviewing the fourth film in this very popular franchise, Transformers: Age of Extinction. Now, the movie takes place about 5 years after the events of Dark of the Moon, which led Chicago in a city of just ruins and ashes. Now, the government and society are done with the Autobots, done with the Decepticons, and their mission is to eradicate the Transformers from the Earth. With that, let's jump into our first category, design. Now, most of the film takes place in Texas, so everything looks really beautiful on camera. The civilians look really nice, and the ranch itself, the prairies, open meadows, everything looks really beautiful. They paid a lot of attention to detail. People were wearing boots, jeans. The garages look really cool. They paid a lot of attention. They put in a little bit Easter eggs. Everything looks just really cool. On the flip side, when you get to Cybertron and when you get glimpses of Lockdown's ship, it does maintain that sense of eeriness, but everything's just really hollow. Everything looks really empty and pretty much forgettable. With that, let's go to our second category, cinematography. Now, Bay does have an eye for action, and the cinematography does represent this. Everything does look really pristine, but you get a lot of the repetitive kind of footage that we've already seen in these previous films. A lot of tracking shots, and action does look really cool, but everything gets really repetitive and really boring by the end of the movie, and this is a really long movie. Instead, they opt out to choose really odd choices of shots. For instance, you get a motorcycle scene, and that chase is really cool, but then they choose to film sometimes from the handlebars, and everything is just really shaky, so it doesn't really represent a good enough footage to show what Bay is trying to portray with this kind of action shots. Our next category is screenplay. Now, this is where the film really starts to slow down and really get really messy. You have a lot of characters going on at one point. You have the main cast, a supporting cast, Autobots, the Decepticons, and then you have a third kind of version reintroduced into the film. But with the screenplay, the weakest point is the dialogue. It's really, really messy, really, really boring. For some reason, Paramount insists on injecting humor into these films, and although you have those moments of sincerity, a lot of it just falls really, really flat. In that kind of sense, you also get really, really flat and really dull character development. Pretty much none. Wahlberg and his family just don't know how to portray their emotions, and instead what you get is just a mixture of models trying to act and then actors trying to be models. A lot of quick shots, nothing really portraying a sense of sincerity or emotion, and is representing the Autobots as well. Instead, what you're left is like this theme of everything becoming primitive, and nothing is really useful anymore. So this really takes place in the screenplay, and for some reason, Bay insisted on going inside this direction. Fourth category, acting. The main issue with the acting is that the main cast is severely overshadowed by the supporting cast. That is something that you really want to avoid in most films, unless it's doing in place with the story. But in this sense, this is why you have that lack of character development. You have your main cast like Wahlberg and Peter Cullen and Kelsey Grammer and even Stanley Tucci just being completely overshadowed by their thugs and their minions who only have one-liners. These are the guys you really want to watch out for because they make the movie, they make it move along, and they're actually a little bit more entertaining than the main cast themselves. It's really hard to differentiate whether this is a fault of screenplay or acting. But until you really pay attention to the film, you get to see that this is just a cry fest. This is just a action fest. There's really no acting there, and really the dialogue portrays that the best. Last category is atmosphere and mission. Now, the mission is really clear. What Bay and Paramount set out to do was set the Transformers on a new course in hopes of reviving the trilogy and hopefully starting a brand new trilogy of their own. Now, Transformers 4 wasn't the best out of the series in my opinion. However, that being said, they did try to accomplish the mission. I do give them props for that. They got a brand new cast, they cut ties with most of the other filmmakers, and they even set out a brand new cast of Autobots and Decepticons. And the very final moments of the film does set it up quite nicely for a sequel. That being said, Transformers just fails to do that kind of atmosphere, and unfortunately, it ends up with a 2 out of 5. So, final thoughts for the film. In all honesty, it's not the worst movie out there, and that being said, if you are a fan of the previous films, you will probably like this film. In my opinion, it didn't really add anything to the Transformers series as a whole, and unfortunately, spoilers are being avoided here, but the film is just recycled, and unfortunately, the script allows that, dialogue allows that, and acting allows all this just to be really recycled kind of a film. And unfortunately, not a lot of series get a chance at a fourth shot. And that's pretty something amazing that Bay has accomplished, and he's just not utilizing that in my opinion. I think it's either time that we let the Autobots go, or the Autobots let go of Bay. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate everything, the support that we've been getting with our previous video and just this channel as a whole, as well as on Instagram. So make sure you just subscribe to YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram at GoodBadDeadly. With that all being said, just wanted to add you guys, thank you for commenting on a review of Transformers. But with that, a lot of you guys were telling us, yeah, we love this movie, and one of you guys actually apologized saying, sorry, but I love this movie. Don't ever apologize for film reviews. This is just my opinion. This is something that's subjective. Us as critics, we just want to give out good content. So we want to hear your thoughts. If you love this movie, that's a good thing. Personally, I wanted to like this movie, and I dragged a fellow member of GBD to come watch it, and they appreciated it a little bit more than I, but the score was pretty much still similar. We want to put out content, and we want to hear your feedback. So thank you guys.